शमप्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. So 17th verse, second chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamabhyasyasya na kaschit kartumarhati. Avinashi tu tadvidhi. Tadvidhi, vidhi means understand, know. You know first. What to know? Avinashi. What is Avinashi? Yena. Wherever this word yena, by whom? That means yena, ayam, enam. All these things refers to soul. So this soul, yena idam, this soul, ayam, yena, this all refers to soul. Dehi. So this soul, sarvam idam, idam, the soul is avinashi. Nobody can kill the soul. What is killed is the body. Because Arjuna was having the concern, oh, I'm going to kill my grandfather, my teacher. But then Krishna says, Krishna is giving Jnana Shastra. What is it? Jnana Shastra speaks about that the soul is anyhow avinashi. You can never kill the soul. What is going to be destroyed? Vinasham abhayasyasya nakaschit kartumarati. Vinasham. Vinasham abhayasyasya. That means nobody can destroy. Vinasham means nobody can destroy that imperishable soul. Nobody can destroy. What is destroyed is this body only. But here, the knowledge about the soul is given. Nobody can destroy the soul. And here, the real nature of the soul has been given. The soul is pervading all over the body. Then somebody can ask, what is the size of the soul then? How is it pervading all over the body? Through consciousness. So what is present in our body is the consciousness of the soul. And you say, what is this? The consciousness of the soul or soul? It is the consciousness of the soul, which is pervading all over the body. Somebody was saying, Mataji, it was so difficult to digest. I'm not the body, I'm soul. Now it is very difficult to digest that I am not the soul, I'm consciousness of the soul. What is present in the body is the consciousness of the soul. That means the soul is always there in the eternal world. And from the eternal world, it emanates its consciousness. And in this way, wherever the consciousness is there, that type of body, the soul gets. Or the consciousness of the soul gets. That is why this consciousness of the soul is also known as qua-soul, representing the soul. The consciousness itself has the ability to manipulate the matter. That is the power of the soul, consciousness of the soul. Like you have the windmill, then you have the electricity produced. That electricity comes through in your house through different ways, isn't it? The same electricity is coming to your house and it is operating your fridge, operating your refrigerator, whatever equipments. So what is present in your house is the electricity which is coming from far. In the same way, consciousness is also electricity, which has the capacity to manipulate the matter. So wherever the consciousness is there, the type of body, or it manipulates the matter and gets the type of body. If our consciousness is there in the dog, then that consciousness has the capacity to manipulate the matter and make it into dog. See the power what soul has. So what is the size of the soul? Anybody has seen it? So to make us understand, the size of the soul is too small to even understand. Like if you take the tip of the hair, alagra shatabhagasya shatada kalpitasya cha bhago jivasa vignyaya sacha anantaya kalpate. If you take the tip of the hair and cut it into 100 parts and take 1/100th part and cut it into again 100 parts, it is 1/10,000 part of the size of the soul. Size of the tip of the hair is the size of the soul. Anybody can do it. That means to make us understand, the subtlest of the subtle. Like when you say, how far is the star? Then the answer comes some light years, trillions, millions. Who has measured? Or who can measure? So something which is beyond our understanding, incomprehensible, beyond our understanding. For that, such type of description is given. Even if we try to understand, we cannot understand. So the size of the soul is so subtle. And then comes how the soul is, how that consciousness is spread all over the body. It is spread via blood. Wherever blood flows, you find the life. Like the hair you cut, nothing happens. You cut your head, you cut your nails, nothing happens. Cut your finger. That means wherever the blood flows, you have the feel of pain and pleasure. That feel of pain and pleasure symbolizes the presence of soul. And then how this soul is held, or if you say the soul is present in the region of heart. So what happens when the heart transplantation happens? Does it go to someone's body? So the soul is present in the spiritual region of the heart. So what is this? Heart is any of gross matter. Body is gross. Heart is gross. Every space has a spiritual presence also. There are dimensions. There are 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions. Something which is beyond 3 dimensions, going up to 64 dimensions. That is spiritual world, which we cannot even comprehend with our eyes. Sometimes we find the there are planes crashing in an unseen mountain. Even today also it happens. There are unseen mountains. It is there. I forgot the name. There is an unseen mountain which is beyond 3 dimensions, which we cannot see with our eyes also. And many times plane crashes over there. And the sign, the helping, this is asked by the pilot. He gives a signal, now gone. Like that, many times it has happened. There are unseen. Unseen means we cannot see with our eyes. Yes, Sonal, you have any doubt?
Mataji, is it Bermuda Triangle over there also this
Yeah,
happens?
yeah.
Some magnetic field.
Yes. So there is something which is we cannot understand with our gross eyes. So like that, there is spiritual region. Where is God? Everybody looks up. Taddure Twadantike is very near. Is far also, is near also. To see him, I should have Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochane. I should have a special eyes through which I can see him. So God is not very far. At the same time, Lord is close to us. To see Lord, these eyes are insufficient. Or these eyes need not be there to see Lord. This is now we'll see. There is a nice story. Surdas, who was blind by birth, but he used to sing song whenever Lord Pat used to be opened. That means that Darshanarthi is there after Lord is dressed. He used to make a song and sing. The Pujari had a doubt. Is he really blind? So one day he did not dress Lord. At the time the Pat opened, Surdas sang. In that one pada he sings, Nagna me Magna Nanda Kishore. Nagna me Magna Nanda Kishore. He is Magna. Magna means he is enjoying without clothes also. So that is what is spiritual world. For the spiritual world, material eyes are the failures. Material senses are the failures. how this atomic soul is floating in our body with the help of all the five airs. When you say it is present in the region of the heart and the consciousness is flowing all through the body with the help of the blood, so then how is it floating with the help of five vayus? Pranavayu, Apanavayu, Vyanavayu, Samanavayu, Udanavayu. Like if you have gone to Vrindavan, Bangalore, Mysore Vrindavan, you will have ball hanging and there will be gushes of water which shoots from different places. And the ball is made to hang with that force. How many of you visited Mysore? It is there. In the Mysore Vrindavan, there will be a ball. And how is it hanging? All will be thinking the gushes of water. With that water, this ball it doesn't come down. So that is how here also the atomic soul is floating with a kind of with five kinds of air. That means the soul which is present in the spiritual world emanates a consciousness which is held by five kinds of air, which is spread all over our body by with the help of blood. So that is why it is said sometimes when we have some disease, the time all these vayus they don't function properly. Some or the other vayu is not functioning. At that time, you don't feel that happiness inside. You don't feel that bliss. Bliss is the nature of the soul. The consciousness itself is not feeling that bliss. Why? Because these airs are not balanced. They are not balanced. Sometimes prana is up, sometimes apana is up, sometimes low, prana is low, apana is more, dhyana is less. So in this way, something or the other, this imbalance of the air causes diseases. Imbalance of the air does not allow us to feel that bliss, which is the nature of the soul. Okay, Anupama, read the whole thing. Unmute yourself. Unmute. Unmute. Anupama, unmute. Read.
अविनाशी तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं तदम् अविनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. Translation. That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Purport. This verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body in part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to the another. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. This soul is described as one 10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. The Shvetasvatara Upanishad confirms this. When the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts. Each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit. The same version is stated. Keshagra Sata Bhagyasya Sadra Satmaka Jiva Sukshmo Sankhya Tito Hi Chitkana. There are innumerable particles are measured as 1/10,000th of the upper portion of the hair. Therefore, the individual particle soul is a spiritual atom smaller than the material atoms. Atoms are innumerable. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body, and the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. This current of spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness, and that is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body, and this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the measurement of atomic soul, spirit soul, is further explained. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in the five kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana. Is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the five kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. The Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the five kinds of air encircling the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures, not for any material profit, but liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So, the constitution of the atomic soul is admitted in all Vedic literatures, and it is also actually felt in the practical experience of any sane man. Only the insane man can think of this atomic soul as all pervading Vishnu Tattva. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over a particular body. According to the Mundaka Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity, and because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the material scientists, some of them assert foolishly that there is no soul. The individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul, and thus all energies of the bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. The corpuscles, which carry the oxygen from the lungs, gather energy from the soul. When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generating fusion ceases. Medical science accepts the importance of red corpuscles, but it cannot ascertain that the source of the energy is the soul. Medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of all energies of the body. Such atomic particles of the spirit whole are compared to the sunshine molecules. In the sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, the fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord are atomic sparks of the rays of the Supreme Lord, called the name Prabha or superior energy. So, whether one follows Vedic knowledge or modern science, one cannot deny the existence of the spirit soul in the body, and the science of the soul is explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita by the personality of Godhead himself.
Next. अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यसुक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनो अप्रमेयस्य तस्माद् युध्यस्व भारत. The second time now Krishna says, get up and fight. Tasmad yudyasya bharata. I told na, right behind and keep where Krishna tells. So this is I think the second time, right? Tasmad yudyasya bharata. Antavante ime deha. This deha anyhow is going to be destroyed. There is an end to it. But sharirinaha, I told na sharirinaha, enam, ayam, atma, dehi, they all refers to soul. Sharirinaha is how nitya suktaha is always eternal. Anashino aprameyasya. In this way, anashina, it cannot be destroyed. Why? Because anashina cannot be destroyed by apremeyasya. It is immeasurable. You cannot measure the size of the soul. Therefore, fight, Krishna says. Tasmat Nithya Bharata. Anyhow, material body is destructible. So here, the purport Prabhupada writes, observance of religious principles should be utilized. That means even if one cannot kill the soul, so violence should not, somebody should not think, oh, anyhow the soul is not the killer. And neither I am killed, neither I am the killer, nor the soul is the killer, or nor the soul is killed. So he can misuse the violence. He can misuse the violence and say that I am not killing you. And your body is destructible. And yeah, I am also not killing. Because my body is functioning. The next verse speaks about it. Ya enam veti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam. Ubhauto na vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. You cannot take the violence in your hand. Nayam hantina hanyate. The soul neither kills nor can be killed. So can you take the violence in your hand? No, the violence has an utility. And if that punishment is not given, he has to suffer. Sometimes a person is sentenced to death. So anyhow the soul is not killed, but the punishment is required. If the punishment is not given, it will go to the next life, accumulated. So happened, there was a king, Manu Niti Chola, from the Chola dynasty. Manu Niti used to follow everything, whatever Manu Samhita speaks. Manu Samhita has been given by Swayambhu Manu himself. What are the rules and regulations to be followed by a human? So this king, Manu Niti, used to follow very perfectly. Chola dynasty. It so happened, he was just thinking why people don't come and tell me anything. Even if I ask them any suggestions, any complaints. Are they afraid of me? Maybe. So let me hang a bell. If they have some problem, they can come and ring the bell. 1 month became. Nobody had any problem, no suggestions, no complaints. You see, now what happened? Okay, to me, they are not able to speak. I gave a solution. Still, nobody is having any complaint, no suggestions. How it can happen? I was worried. One night, it so happened. The bell started ringing so violently. He came outside and saw there was a cow which was ringing the bell. So, king is king for everyone. He understood. The cow has some problem. Then the cow was going ahead and he was falling back. In this way, he was following the cow. He understood that cow wants to show something. And the cow went to the place where the spot where the calf was dead. And all the people were assembled there. Again, the king asked, who killed this calf? Nobody answered. So what is this? Now at least they should answer. No one is answering. Then he asked the cow, can you point me out who has killed this calf? The cow went to the prince who killed the calf. Who killed the calf. Now just see, what did the king do? He told the soldiers to make the prince lie down on the road. And the king drove the chariot on the body of the prince. So if this punishment would have not been given by the father, who is the king, then the son has to suffer more. Because go hatya is the biggest sin which a person can even think of. Yesterday only we were talking about how is the power of name. Even if a person is a killer of the cow, still chanting the holy name is the best atonement. There cannot be any better atonement than this. So that is how The violence cannot be taken in the hand. It has a perfect utility. Now the king killed his son. So violence has a perfect utility. Okay, both the verse. Sonal, you do both the verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Shlok number 18. अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशेनो अप्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Ravinda Bhakti Vedant Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharat. Purport. The material body is perishable by nature. It may perish immediately or it may do so after 100 years. It is a question of time only. There is no chance of maintaining it indefinitely. But the spirit soul is so minute that it cannot even be seen by an enemy, to say nothing of being killed. As mentioned in the previous verse, it is so small that no one can have any idea how to measure its dimension. So, from both viewpoints, there is no cause of lamentation because the living entity, as he is, cannot be killed, nor can the material body be saved for any length of time or permanently protected. The minute particle of the whole spirit acquires this material body according to his work, and therefore observance of religious principles should be utilized. In the Vedanta Sutras, the living entity is qualified as light because he is the part and parcel of the supreme light. As sunlight maintains the entire universe, so the light of the soul maintains this material body. As soon as the spirit soul is out of this material body, the body begins to decompose. Therefore, it is the spirit soul which maintains this body. The body itself is unimportant. Arjuna was advised to fight and not sacrifice the cause of religion for material bodily considerations. Text number 19. यैनं वेति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ते न हन्यते. Translation. Neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge, for the self slays not nor is slain. When an embodied living entity is hurt by fatal weapons, it is to be known that the living entity within the body is not killed. The spirit soul is so small that it is impossible to kill him by any material weapon, as will be evident from the subsequent verses. Nor is the living entity killable because of his spiritual constitution. What is killed or is supposed to be killed is the body only. This, however, does not at all encourage killing of the body. The Vedic injunction is Ma himsyat sarva bhutani. Never commit violence to anyone, nor does understanding that the living entity is not killed encourage animal slaughter. Killing the body of anyone without authority is abominable and is punishable by the law of the state as well as by the law of the Lord. Arjuna, however, is being engaged in killing for the principle of religion and not whimsically. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Okay. Next. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे न जायते. This न is common to न म्रियते. न जायते, not born. न म्रियते, never dies. That means there is no time influence. Na ayam means the soul. Na ayam bhutva bhavita na bhuyah. Bala bhuyah. Bhutva na bhuyah. Bhutva bhavita na bhuyah. Somebody remarked for Narsimha Avatar, that movie. Na bhutva na bhavita na bhuyah. That means never like that, movie came. There cannot be any movie like this in the present. There cannot be any movie in the future. What they use this sentence they use. Now, bhutva na bhavita na bhuya. It is only referring to the soul. Other all things can be made. We cannot just talk about any whatever it is. It is a materialistic thing only. No? It is not a, though it is spiritual. Spiritual thing has been said, but anyway, it is matter only. Matter will end in matter. Matter cannot be compared. Yes, you can compare, okay, like this, there was nothing in the past. But this line refers only to the soul. Time influence is not there for the soul. If you have time influence, then only you have past, present, and the future. Yeah. 1 second. So past, present, and the future. That means if something is born, it stays for some time, it grows, and then it produces the byproducts, starts dwindling, then vanishes. So these are the 6 changes which happens. Something is born, this is past, present, then grows, produces byproducts that can be counted as a present. In future, will dwindle and will vanish. Ajo, again repeated, Ajo, unborn. Nityaha, always present. Shashvataha, eternal. Again, Ayam, Ayam means his soul. Purana, the oldest. Na hanyate hanyamani sharire. Even if the body is killed, soul is not killed. So here, because of the time influence, these 6 changes happen, which has been very nicely put in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. How the child is born from the womb, remains for some time, grows, produces, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes. Okay, Mana Roy. Can you read the verse? Wait. We have not practiced. Okay, let me see. Read.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् भूत्वा भविता वा न भूय। You can't hear me, Mataji?
I can hear. I heard I was too faint. You are not supposed to stand like this. Stand after me. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्. Stand. न जायते
न जायते म्रियते
म्रियते वा कदाचिन्.
म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः.
नायं भूत्वा भविता।
Well, na? After Bhavita, what is there?
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयम् अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे।
Very good. You practice like this, you
I
come.
will send the verses to you, Mataji. Today I have kept it in recording. I will send it to you by night.
First, you record properly again.
Sorry, Mataji.
Today I don't have time. Tomorrow. You
Okay,
can send.
okay, okay, Mataji.
Okay, read.
Translation. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain where the body is slain. Purport. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmented part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the steady or kuttastha. The body is subject to 6 kinds of transformations. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. The soul however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because he takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth also has death, and because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. The soul does not at any time become old as the body does. The so called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The change of the body do not affect the soul. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree nor anything material. The soul has no byproduct either. The byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls, and owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the six changes of the body. In the Katha Upanishad 1.2.18, we also find a similar passage which reads, "Na jayate mriyate va vipaschin nayam kutaschin bhagua kaschit अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे." The meaning and the purport of this verse is same as in the Bhagavad Gita. But here in this verse there is one special word vipaschita, which means learned or with knowledge. The soul is full of knowledge or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart where he is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to the clouds or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is therefore daytime. It is daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that a sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. There are two kinds of soul, namely the minute particle soul, Annu Atma, and the super soul, Vibhu Atma. This is also confirmed in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.20 in this way. Annoranyan mahato mahyana atmasya jinto nihito bhuyama तमकृत पश्यन्ति वितसोको दतुः प्रसादन्न महिमन्नमत्मना. Both the super soul Paramatma and the atomic soul Jivatma are situated on the same tree of the body, within the same heart of the living being. And only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul, also as it will be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjuna is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Anoraniya Mahato Mahiya. That means he can become smallest of the smallest. He can become the biggest of the biggest. Atmasya Janto Nihito Guhayam. He is situated in the same tree. And what is he doing? Tam akrutaha pashyati vita shokoho dhatu prasadan mahimanaha. So the super soul, and there is Krishna, who is Vibhu Atma, and the individual soul is Anu Atma. Katha Upanishad speaks that Jivatma and Paramatma both are residing in the same tree, same body. And then Lord is waiting when this person is going to look at me. Because the Jivatma is too engrossed in eating the fruit, sometimes sweet fruit, sometimes bitter, sometimes sour. That means whatever karmic reactions that is experienced by the soul. And that is why the soul forgets to look at Lord. So the soul, so Lord is looking when this person is going to look at me. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajamavyayam katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. Veda, no, avinashinam, indestructible, nityam, always existing. So ya enam ajamavyayam, this avyayam. Avyayam means infallible. And ajam can never be born. So this enam, that is the soul, is never born, never killed, indestructible, immutable, never falls down. Katham sa purusha partha. So how is it that kam ghatayati hantikam? How is it that the soul can cause anybody to kill? How a soul can kill anyone? Or how can the soul be the cause of killing someone? How can the soul be killed? So in this way, actually the Manuniti Chola's example comes in this purport actually. In this purport also you can put. The justice given is actually utility of the violence. So violence has its proper utility, proper rights here. So Manuniti Chola's example can be quoted here. And also another one point Prabhupada writes, catching a knife is not violence, always. Like a doctor catches the knife in the surgical operations. Will you say, hey, the killer has come? No. Maybe a person is not saved, but you cannot call the doctor as a killer. He came to save your life, but maybe you're not having that much long life. Simple. So you cannot call a doctor a killer just because he's holding a knife. So the children are told, avoid holding a knife. But that is not a permanent instruction. Till we understand the utility of the knife, we should not hold it. Okay. Gaurang,
Veda vinashinam nityam yaenam ajamavyayam katam sa purusha parda kam gateti hantikam. Translation. O Parda, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Everything has its proper utility, and a man who is situated in its complete knowledge knows how and where to apply a thing for its proper utility. Similarly, violence also has its utility, and how to apply violence rests with the person in knowledge. Although the justice of the peace awards capital punishment to a person condemned for murder, the justice of the peace cannot be blamed, because he orders violence to another person according to the codes of justice. In Manu Samhita, the law book for mankind, it is supported that a murderer should be condemned to death, so that in his next life he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. Therefore, the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. Similarly, when Krishna orders fighting, it must be concluded that violence is for supreme justice. And thus Arjuna should follow the instruction, knowing well that such violence committed in the act of fighting for Krishna is not violence at all, because at any rate, the man, or rather the soul, cannot be killed. So the administration of justice, so-called violence, is permanent. A surgical operation is not meant to kill the patient, but to cure him. Therefore, the fighting to be executed by Arjuna at the instruction of Krishna is with full knowledge. So there is no possibility of sinful reaction. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Next. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. So here soul is addressed as Sharirina Tata Shariran. Sorry. Soul is addressed as Dehi. Dehi means soul. Now Vasamsi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya. Vasansi means garment. Jirna means became old. Then what will do? You'll throw it, discard it, and take to new dress. Navani Gurahati Naruparana. Similarly, Tatha Yatha comes and Tatha will come. Like you said, as what do you have? As much as, like that you put. Like you have because, since, because, like that some joining words are there. Wherever yatha comes, tatha will come. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. The body becomes old. Navani, anyani samyati navani dehi. The soul takes to new body. Question arises. That means when the dress is old, then it has to be given up. The body is old, it should be given up. But what about the small children dying in the womb? The young children dying, youth dying, middle-aged people die. Why is it that they don't come to the age of till the old age? The answer is that the body, that the garment is old, but fit to be worn. I brought a dress yesterday. Because of some accident, it got torn. Will you wear that new dress or will you wear old dress? Old dress, which is fit to be worn. The same way, there are old people who are living still, but there may be many young people who will be dying. That means when the body is unfit to stay, the soul immediately leaves the body. When it is unfit to stay. So Jirnani here not just doesn't refer to old. Jirna means unfit. So you should understand it nicely because anybody can ask this question. Then why is it that we see young people dying, young children dying in the womb, unfit to stay? This is the only simple answer which can be given. And sometimes you find 95 years person, 100 years person still living. Fit to stay. Till the time it is fit to stay, the soul stays. The moment the body is unfit to stay, the soul leaves the body, giving up the old and the useless one. Unfit to stay. Okay. Vijit Prabhu, please read. This is the last verse for today.
Hare Krishna. Vasamsi chirnani yada vihaya bhavani prunadi naroparani tata sharirani vihaya tirnani amyani samyani navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Purport. The change of body by the atomic individual individual soul is an accepted fact. Even the modern scientists who do not believe in existence of the soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy from the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body, which appear from childhood to boyhood, and from boyhood to youth, and again from youth to old age. From old age, the change is transferred to another body. This has already been explained in the previous verse 2.13. Transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the supersoul. The supersoul fulfills the desires of the atomic soul as one friend fulfills the desire of another. The Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad, as well as the Vedas, Vedasvatara Upanishad, compare the soul and the supersoul to two friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds, the individual atomic soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna, is simply watching his friend. Of these two birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friend. Krishna is the witnessing bird, and Arjuna is the eating bird. Although they are friends, one is still the master and the other is the servant. Forgetfulness of this relationship by the atomic soul is the cause of one's changing his position from one tree to another, or from one body to another. Jiva's soul is struggling very hard on the tree of the literal body, but as soon as he agrees to accept the other bird as the supreme spiritual master, as Arjuna agreed to do by voluntarily surrender unto Krishna for instruction, the subordinate bird immediately becomes free from all lamentations. Both the Mundaka Upanishad and Vedasvatara Upanishad confirm this. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno nishaya sochati mukhyamanaha jutsam yada pashyantyat anyam prasham asya mahimanam iti vitashoda. Although the two birds are in the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness as the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. But if in some way or other he turns his face to his friend the Lord and knows his glories, at once the suffering bird becomes freed from all anxieties. Arjuna has now turned his face towards his eternal friend Krishna and is understanding the Bhagavad Gita from him. And thus, hearing from Krishna, he can understand the supreme glories of the Lord and be freed from lamentation. Arjuna is advised here with the Lord not to lament for the bodily change of his old grandfather and his teacher. He should rather be happy to kill their bodies in the righteous fight so that they may be cleansed at once for all reaction from various bodily activities. One who lays down his life on the sacrificial altar or in the proper battlefield is at once cleansed by of bodily reactions and promoted to a higher status of life. So there was no cause of Arjuna's lamentation. Hare Krishna.
समाने वृक्षे पुरुषनिमग्नः अनुशयाः रोदति मीयमानः. This is the verse. Two souls stay in the same body. One is engrossed in eating everything. Other person is looking. And the previous verse, Anoraniya, the same super soul can become the smallest of the smallest and the biggest of the biggest. And both are again situated in the same body. Okay? So here we'll stop. Next two verses. Yeah, see. Yeah.
Yeah, small question.
Yeah.
Vasam's Jirnani just now we studied and try to understand Jirnani word, and it can't be considered as old or worn out. But now Arjuna is being asked to kill, means a person who is killing a body. So his soul is going out from that body. So what this should be considered as, where the body is fit or not?
When the body is fit or not, actually. Nice question. Arjuna is told to kill. So
Yeah.
now, what is that? Unfit to stay? Yes. Not following dharma. That is why this is dharma. Krishna wants that everybody should be killed. Already Krishna says, I have killed everyone. Except for you all, I have killed everyone. That is what Krishna says in 11th chapter. They are unfit to stay because they are not following dharma. So violence has to be employed. Like in the war, the borders, the person who is following dharma has to kill terrorists. Why? Unfit to stay. Because they are terrorists. That is
Right. Okay, Mataji.
okay.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Anybody else? Panchakalpatarubhyascha कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
हरे कृष्णा गौतम, मीटिंग बंद कर दो। हरे कृष्णा। Hare Krishna Gautam, end the meeting please. Hare Krishna.